In this video, let's just discuss some of the main differences between a male and a female skull, and also how it affects the male and the female face. An important thing that you need to realize is that you will find a lot of male skulls and male faces with some feminine traits, and you might find some female skulls or female faces with some masculine traits. So there's no fixed rule, there's no fixed differentiation that I can tell you. It's always a mixed match. There is so much variety. Even in the lips, some males have feminine lips, full lips. So there's a lot of variety out there. So this case right now, what I'm showing you is you maybe an idealized situation, an idealized male skull, and idealized female skull. So let's look at the main most common differences that you will find. So first of all, the male skull, it's very featureful. It has a lot of features. It has a lot of sharp details. Let's just isolate both of them. And especially you're gonna notice that the features in the male skull are very blocky. So you can see the head, the cranium, the top part, it's very flat. It's flat over here. Even if you compare it on the side, let me move it back here. So you can see it's a lot flat on top. It has a slant towards the forehead. Whereas the female skull, it's very round, it's very smooth. It's almost like a ball. So that is the biggest difference that you will find. The features on the female skull are very less pronounced. Even if you look at the eyebrow ridge, okay, this ridge, the eyebrow ridge, it's very pronounced in the male skull. It's almost like a bump. Whereas in the female, it's gonna be very smooth. The second most notable difference that you're gonna find is in the jaw. So the jaw on the male is very blocky, very squarish, also very wide. Whereas in the female, it's very narrow towards the end, and also it's very rounded. You can also notice this in the faces. So the face of the female has a very narrow chin, very narrow jaw, and the scalp of the male has a very wide chin, a very prominent chin, a very chiseled jaw. The structures in the female face as well, they're going to be very smooth. So you won't see a lot of the temple line, the chiseled jaw. You might find them, you might see them, but generally, the features on the female are much more smoother, much more light, much less prominent. Also, a main difference in the jaw is that the male jaw, it flares out towards the bottom. Let me isolate these again. And you can see over here that it flares out. Okay, you can even see this in the front. So it's not straight, it flares out, it comes out. Whereas in the female jaw, you won't see the flaring of the jaw. This is a very prominent feature. And I have a list of notes over here that you can refer to. You can take a screenshot, you can write them down. So this is what a female skull has in comparison to a male skull. It has rounded eye orbits. You can see that the orbits are going to be a bit rounder. The male skull is blocky, we discussed it, but the female skull is going to be a bit rounded. We also discussed the forehead. It's not slanted, it's relatively straight, it's very round. And let me just discuss these 2 points with you. These are the main points that I want to discuss with you. These are the points that you will find online. If you look for differences between a male and a female skull, you might find on Pinterest these points, that the jaw angle on the female is greater and the jaw angle on the male is less. It's much sharper. And it's not true actually. You will find a lot of females with a squarish face, a very straight jaw. It projects straight. And you will also find males like this. So that isn't really true. What is true is the flaring. So the female skull, the female jaw, it wouldn't have flaring on its jaw over here. Also, another point you're going to find online is that the cheekbone is wider in the females. And let's discuss this. So it might be true, but it also looks more wider in comparison with the male because the jaw in the female does not have the flaring. So when it does not have the flaring, the male face is going to be wide because it has a flaring in the jawbone. So it's going to look wide. But the female, since it does not have any flaring, it's going to look like it's a bit tapered towards the end. So it might give you an illusion that the cheekbone is wider in the female. It might be, but it's also because of this difference in the jaw. So in comparison, yeah, it's going to look wider to you. So now that we've discussed the differences, let's go to the skull that you have sculpted and let's make this into a feminine skull, a female skull. So just duplicate it over here. Let's turn off the shadows so we can see more clearly. Let's go to sculpt mode. And first of all, let's just make the jaw narrow. Also, let's make the chin narrow. And also let's make it round. So that is one of the main difference. Also, we discussed that there won't be any flaring. So just smooth this area out. And also move this in a bit. So we don't want this flaring to happen. Okay, so no flaring, narrow jaw, narrow chin, and rounded chin. And the second main difference is going to be the head. So let's isolate this. Let's go to the side view and let's make this head a bit more rounded. A bit more straight over here as well. And since it doesn't slant back, it doesn't move back, so it's not going to be as long either. It's going to be much rounded. So just take a smooth brush, a big smooth brush, and then just smoothen these features. You won't really see this bump. It's going to be there, but it's not going to be that prominent. Also, we discussed the eyebrow ridge. It's not going to be there. It's going to be very smooth. So just smooth it out. But just use the clay strips brush to add a bit of volume over here. Just even it out. Let's make the orbitals a bit more rounded. And this orbit, it might be true. It might not be there, but yeah, it's going to look much feminine, much female-ish if I make this detail. Also, let's make it a bit thinner, make it more rounded. This is the widest point, the cranium. And everything is going to be much rounded. So yeah, we won't have this flat top. Let's make it rounded. Let's smooth it. And you're going to notice that when we sculpt the female head, you're going to notice a lot of the differences in the skull. Because since you're going to notice that the features are not very prominent in the skull, they're not going to be very prominent in the face as well. The features in the female skull are very smooth. They're going to be very smooth in the head as well. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities in the differences. Yeah, a lot of similarities in the differences. So there you go. Very easily, you converted your male skull into a female skull. And here's the points again. If you want to note them down, if you want to take a screenshot, whatever, you can do it right now. So these points are in comparison with the male head. So the female skull has rounded eye orbits, has a straight forehead, has smooth eyebrow ridge. It doesn't have an eyebrow ridge, it doesn't have the bump. It's going to be narrow and round chin. It's going to have a non-flaring jaw. It's going to have a round cranium, the top part of the skull. This part is the cranium. It's going to be rounded. And these 2 points, I just explained them to you. So the jaw angle is not true. It can be sharp in females. It can be sharp in males as well. So it's not true. And the cheekbone width, it might be true, but it looks more wider in comparison because we don't have the flaring of the jaw. So just convert your male skull into the female skull. Just remember these differences because you need to know these differences when you're sculpting the face as well. And we will uncover more of the differences in the faces when we sculpt faces. So for now, just convert your male skull into a female skull. And once you're confident doing that, once you remember, try doing it by memory as well. And once you tick all the points, you remembered all the points, you ticked all the points, then just click on the next video. I'll see you there. Goodbye.